Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with there have been some really wonderful, creative, and interesting recordings coming out lately, and this is certainly one of them. Brahms Reimagined Orchestrations. And they are wonderful. There's some stuff here you will not have heard before. It's not just the Schoenberg Brahms Piano Quartet, which is on here, and in a very good performance, I have to say, with a very rousing account of the finale and with typically splendid reference recordings sonics, which really matters in this piece because, as we all know, Schoenberg's orchestration is as gauche as it's possible to make it, while taking yourself seriously, of course, as Schoenberg always did. So this disc features Michael Stern and the Kansas City Symphony. And boy, oh boy, I mean, I know there have been like a million recordings of the Schoenberg Brahms, but this whole program makes so much sense. There is such smart stuff out there in this wilderness of insanity that is today's classical music universe. There really is. There's talent and intelligence galore, and we need to celebrate it where we find it, and we find it here because the big number here, well, let's go backwards. It ends with the Brahms Schoenberg Piano Quartet in G minor. I just love this arrangement. You know, it really gives us another Brahms symphony. And, you know, we play the four Brahms symphonies, but we don't play the other works that Brahms wrote. We don't do the two serenades. You never hear them. And here is what is effectively a Brahms symphony in modern dress. And whether you agree with the aesthetics or not, you know, who cares? I mean, it's really good stuff. And it's Brahms. It's not gonna be bad music because Schoenberg gussied it up a little bit. What the hell? So anyway, the one before this, before that piano quartet that I've just made the case for, is a piece called Black Swan for orchestra. Black Swan is none other than the Intermezzo in A major, opus 118, number 2. One of Brahms' very last piano works. Remember, he did those 3 collections of short pieces, like opus 116, 17, 18, 19, or 4 collections, or there's a bunch of them. And the Intermezzo is a lovely, charming work, sort of a wistful, waltzy type thing. And it's orchestrated here by bright Sheng. And very well done, too. Let me tell you, Schoenberg is the most outré of all of these versions. He really is. Everyone else, you know, when people approach Brahms, because Brahms was Brahms, you know, it's Brahms, they take it very seriously. And bright Sheng, and they should. I mean, it's serious music. It really is, especially these late works of Brahms, which are kind of aphoristic and sensitive and inward and so unflashy. So bright Sheng has made a beautiful orchestration, and they tell us exactly what the orchestration is. Hang on a moment. Let's see here. It is scored, here we go, for, 2 flutes, 2 oboes, 2 clarinets, 2 bassoons, contrabassoon, 4 horns, 2 trumpets, 3 trombones, harp, and strings. It's nothing that Brahms himself could not have used, even the harp. Compare this to the Schoenberg. I mean, just for fun, shall we? The Schoenberg is 2 piccolos, 3 flutes, 3 oboes, English horn, E-flat clarinet, 2 B-flat clarinets, bass clarinet, 3 bassoons, contrabassoon, 4 horns, 3 trumpets, 3 trombones, tuba timpani, bass drum, cymbals, glockenspiel, orchestral bells, well, it's actually a celesta, but snare drum, triangle, xylophone, and strings. Oh my goodness. What a collection of some non-Brahmsian things. Anyway, so you could see the difference. I mean, this is done very sensitively, and it's a beautiful piece. And one of the nice things about hearing these things in orchestrations is that, you know, when you hear like a collection of late Brahms piano pieces, it may just pass you by. You may not notice it. But here, when you have a composer who works on the piece sensitively and turns it into something which is a standalone work called Black Swan, then we pay attention. And these pieces deserve to be paid attention to. And here's a wonderful way to get to know one of them. So the big item, though, and I think the thing that makes this whole project, elevates it to the next level, it's up here somewhere, up there, really, really tremendous, is Virgil Thomson's orchestration of Brahms' 11 chorale preludes for solo organ, opus 122. This was the last piece that Brahms wrote. No one knows why he wrote them. He never published them. They were found on his desk after his death. He wrote them in the knowledge that he was dying of cancer. They are homages to Bach, obviously, and also to the Lutheran tradition in which Brahms was raised. And they are exquisite pieces. Now, who listens to organ music aside from organists? And I know there are some of you out there who love organ music. You were born like under an organ or something. I heard that. And I get it. But I mean, in general, the populace at large, and now that E. Power Biggs and Virgil Thomson are gone and whatnot, we don't find organ music popping up pretty regularly. So the original, and these are chorale preludes. They're not toccatas and fugues. They're not flashy, imposing pieces. They're very gentle, carefully worked contrapuntal essays. And they're only a couple minutes long each. And so nobody is going to spend a huge amount of time listening to these organ thingies if you're just your average like Brahms person. You like a Brahms symphony now and then. So that's one thing. Virgil Thomson was the perfect person to orchestrate these things. I mean, he really was. I mean, he was absolutely couldn't have done it better because this was his style. I mean, his style was that. I mean, he was a neoclassicist, of course, but if you listen to Four Saints and Three Acts or any of his music, his symphony on a hymn tune, I mean, the idea of hymns and chorale preludes and these organ thingies and music that sounds like a harmonium and that very plain-spoken, sincere, unfussy, unshowy. I mean, he was just the guy for this. And his orchestration of these consists of piccolo, 3 flutes, 2 oboes, English horn, 2 clarinets, bass clarinet, 2 bassoons, contrabassoon, 4 horns, 2 trumpets, 3 trombones, tuba, timpani, chimes. Actually, it seems like a glockenspiel here, listening to it, and strings. Really sensitive, sensible, nothing grotesque. Again, he's not trying to make a statement. He's taking the music totally, completely seriously and expressing what I think Brahms was trying to do in this music in an absolutely, let me put this away, in an absolutely sincere, heartfelt, and honest way. And I've never heard these before in this version. This was new to me. It'll probably be new to you. They are splendidly played, gorgeously recorded. I mean, quite often when you listen to them, he's imitating the sound of the organ, especially with the woodwinds or a harmonium. You hear that kind of organ-like sonority, but on a small scale. It's homespun and warm and intimate, and it's just what this music is, what it's all about. It doesn't sound inflated or overgrown. I don't know if you'd ever want to hear all 11 of them at once in a concert because the music is basically very soft and gentle and pretty quiet for the most part. I mean, there are a couple quicker ones, but which one is the zippiest one? My faithful heart rejoices. Herzlich tut mich erfreuen. That's number 4. And the last one, you're going to cry when you hear it. It's O Welt, ich muss dich lassen. O world, I must leave you. The last thing to come from Brahms's pen, when you think about it. I mean, there's something so beautiful and touching and lovely, and it's wonderful. And when you put these 3 things together on a program, you have a very, very special disc. Absolutely first class, and gorgeous performances and recordings, and a brilliant program. Absolutely brilliant program that you want. You're going to want it. You really want it. Trust me, you want it. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.